The sound of a loved one's voice calling you from another room. It's a sound we all should know, a sound that should bring comfort. But what if that voice wasn't really them? What if something else was using it to lure you into the dark? In today's story, we dive into a terrifying experience of a woman who has been haunted by a mysterious mimic for over 2 decades. This entity has followed her across states, imitating the voices of her family and friends, drawing her into a chilling game of deception that she can't escape. But before we get into this bone-chilling tale, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, because you won't want to miss the rest of this terrifying journey. Now, let's get into the story. But remember, not everything that calls your name is who it seems. The house stood in eerie silence, nestled on the outskirts of a small town, far from anything familiar. It was the kind of silence that felt oppressive, like something was lurking just beneath the surface, waiting. And then it began. An unsettling mimicry, a voice that wasn't mine, yet it sounded so close, so familiar. The first time it happened, I thought it was just my ex coming home late, his voice calling out to me from another room. I didn't think twice as I responded, my mind preoccupied with setting up my children's gaming console, trying to fix the snow static blaring from the TV. The screen flickered, a loud hiss of static filling the room, like the sound of 1,000 whispers. "Hey," I called out, my voice barely rising above the crackling noise. "What's up?" The response came quickly, my ex's voice, cutting through the static, clear as day. "Hey, what are you doing?" he asked. I shrugged it off, thinking nothing of it, assuming the sound had startled him too. I stepped into the hallway, moving toward the front door, expecting to find him standing there. But as I opened it, a cold draft greeted me. No truck, no sign of him anywhere. A sickening realization hit me. He hadn't been home. He hasn't even been in the area. My heart skipped a beat as I dialed his number, my hand trembling. He answered, his voice calm, unaware of the tormenting game that had just begun. "I'm not there. I won't be there for a while," he said. It was the first time it spoke in his voice, the first time it mimicked him, but it wouldn't be the last. After that night, it followed me, always one step behind, never fully gone. It started with whispers, a voice in my head, then escalated to things calling out from the shadows. It took on voices of those I loved, my children, my stepchildren, even my own voice used against me. It knew exactly when I'd be vulnerable. It used their voices to lure me in, to test me. Once, standing in the hallway next to my stepdaughter, I heard her call out to me, only it wasn't her voice. It was mine, calling her name with an unsettling twist, like a mockery of everything I held dear. She looked at me, her face pale, her eyes wide in disbelief. "It wasn't you," she whispered, her voice trembling. It grew worse when I moved. First to Philadelphia, then to Florida, and always it followed. In Florida, I stayed with a friend. Her house felt warm, familiar, but the warmth quickly faded when my voice echoed through the walls, calling her name. I was dead asleep in bed, but there it was again, echoing through the house, unsettling the air like a silent scream. It even used my voice to call out to her boyfriend, something I would never do. He rushed to check on her, convinced something was terribly wrong. He didn't question it. He didn't stop to think that it wasn't me at all. And that's the thing. It knows how to make you doubt your reality. It knows how to twist everything you trust into something terrifying. Even now, in my daughter's house, I can feel it. It's here. Last month, it mimicked my daughter's voice, calling out "Mom" from the other room when she was nowhere near. She'd been gone for hours, working. But that voice, it rang out like a warning, an invitation. It knows when I'll be alone, when I'll be vulnerable. It uses the ones I care about as bait, as puppets to draw me in, and I always answer, always believing that it's real, that maybe this time it's the person I love, just lost in a moment, just a voice caught in the wind. For a time, it disappeared. Years passed, and there was no places where it never appeared. It wasn't that I had moved on, no. It was waiting, watching, and when it found me again, it came with an eerie calm, creeping through the cracks of my life. I've done everything. Cleansings, salt, protection oils, even asafoetida. Nothing works. It's like trying to hold water in your hands. It slips through your fingers, always returning, always lurking. The worst part is that it's not constant. Sometimes I'll go months without hearing it, but then, when I least expect it, it's there. Every time. It's worse. More convincing, more real. I don't know where it came from or why it follows me. I don't know if it's tied to me, to my family, or to the places I've lived. Maybe it's the way it feeds on fear, on doubt, on the very core of my belief in the world around me. Maybe it's just waiting for me to slip, for me to be weak. The worst part is that I can't escape it. There are no safe places anymore. There is only the next moment, the next time it calls out in my voice, or in the voice of someone I love, dragging me back into the twisted game. And now, after all these years, I've learned the truth. It doesn't need to chase me. It only needs to wait until I'm vulnerable, until I'm willing to listen. And when I do, it's already there, waiting for the next chance to strike. Well, there you have it. Another chilling story of the supernatural that reminds us that not everything is as it seems. Imagine hearing the voice of someone you love, only to realize it's something far more sinister. If you found this story as unsettling as I did, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more spine-tingling tales like this one. And if you've experienced anything like this, or have a similar story of your own, drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and as always, thank you for watching. Until next time, keep your ears open, because you never know who or what might be calling your name.